What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a brand new video. Today we have the top 5 best weapons in Battlefield 2042. I know there's going to be a lot of new players coming around in this weekend, so I decided to make an updated top 5 guns video. The order can be discussed a little bit, but this is the order where I put them in. There's going to be some changes than your normal top 5. It's because they changed the headshot multiplier, and there's been some new guns added in, and there's a visual recoil, of course, so keep that in mind. So this is a new top 5. This is the updated one. I'm also going through the attachments in case you're curious, so be sure to stick around. So we're going to start off with number 5, which is the M5A3. This is on the assault class. It's the very first assault rifle you unlock, which is a big plus as well. So you get this quick. I'm pretty sure this is unlocked right away, but you need to put some attachments on this before it to actually work. But I put this in the top 5 because I think it's one of the best all-rounded weapons in the game. You can build it into a very close, aggressive gun, but also into a more of a longer range, medium, longer range. Longer range, not really, but for a medium range assault rifle, it does very good as well. So the M5A3, the attachments that I use on the M5A3 is the Fusion Hollow. Then I have a standard extended. I used to use close combat, but I went with the standard extended because this has a little bit less spread. So the rate of fire is a little bit slower, but there is a little bit less spread. I don't have attachments right now, but what I normally would use is the LWG grip, and I use the short barrel. This will increase the rate of fire. So this is what I use: Fusion Hollow, extended, LWG grip, and the shortened barrel. If you don't really strafe much, so if you don't use McKay, I would recommend going with the Cobra grip, because this will make the gun more accurate if you're static, and the LWG grip makes it more accurate when you're moving around. So that's the decision making behind that. But definitely try out the extended instead of close combat, because I know a lot of people like close combat with the spread right now. I think this is the better way to go. Also, of course, a suppressor as a backup in case you want to go on the flank. I have the Cade Hollow in case you don't like the Fusion Hollow. These two are pretty much the same, and I really like the Ghost Hybrid. This is a little bit more of a personal taste, because I know a lot of people don't like to use the Ghost Hybrid, but personally I really enjoy using the Ghost Hybrid on this gun as well. So for next up, this is going to be an interesting one. This is one of the new weapons that arrived in the latest season, Season 7. It's the SCZ. It is on the SMG class. I put this in the top 5 because I think the gun can do it all. For an SMG, you can go for long-range gunfights, actually quite incredibly long-range gunfights. It is not as beamy as the PP29 is, but it kills faster up close. So it fits more the SMG category, but it kills for long range as well. Especially if you go tap fire, the damage drop off doesn't seem that severe. So for attachments, what I use is the Fusion Hollow. I use a standard issue drum. You need to have backup ammunition, so make sure you have high power drum as well, and the standard extended. The high power drum makes the gun into a little bit more of a long range weapon. The effective range of the bullets is definitely noticeable. It becomes really good for longer ranges. So both are worth using, but be sure to have backup ammunition. When you switch ammo type, you don't run out of ammo as fast. I don't really use these other sides, so it's mainly the Fusion Hollow and the drum mag. Then I have the SDNR laser, which you unlock very late, but it makes it detectable and quite detectable, so make sure you're a fast player once you use this, because you need to have fast response time and be a little bit smart with this, because it's also detectable with smokes and everything. And then I personally use the tactical compensator, which increases the recoil. This one makes the recoil control a little bit easier, so that one kind of cancels out, but it makes the weapon have less spread, which makes it also good for longer range. So that's the decision making behind the tactical compensator. Next up, we have the PP29. This gun has hit quite a bit with the visual recoil in the latest update. This gun is a little bit more bouncy, but when I was playing with it, it is definitely more shaky, but the recoil itself is not that much, and it's still quite beamy. The reason why I put the PP29 above the SCZ is because I think it's more versatile, and because you have more bullets in it, which makes it really good for the more chaotic atmosphere that Battlefield brings. You kind of don't want to reload that much, and the reload itself is very fast. It's got an increased hip fire now as well, so it works better as an SMG. But however, the only down part is not the best at winning gunfights, so keep that in mind. the SCZ. The previous SMG is definitely more of a gunfight, one-on-one gun, and this one is more for farming infantry. So if you want to get high kill games, I personally always go with the PP29. Now the attachments is not very interesting what I use. I actually only use the standard issue rounds, which will increase the rate of fire. And I use diffusion hollow. So literally those two, and I think it's very important that you have a rep suppressor as backup, which I will use quite a lot actually. And if you don't like the visual recoil on diffusion hollow, you can also go with iron sights, which is actually pretty decent as well. You get a little bit of less recoil on the iron sights with the PP29. So next up we have the BSV-M. This is a little bit of a hard pick because the DMRs or the marksman rifles all got hit pretty hard with the visual recoil. So this gun is quite bouncy, but I think it's still such a good weapon. It kills very fast, it's a 3-shot weapon, and you can put it in automatic mode. It's on the marksman class, but you can make it full auto if you change the fire type. So keep that in mind, and it's definitely worth doing that. Now, I think the setup that I have is kind of a must-have. You have the short barrel with a suppressor on it. It's got the suppressed sound, so you don't really notice where you're getting shot. So the moment you get shot by the BSV, it's very hard to respond to it. I have the BCG light grip, which increases the accuracy when you're aiming. This gun is not very good for hip firing. And then the high power extended, you definitely want to use backup ammunition because you will run out of this high power extended pretty fast. But it's pretty much a 3-shot kill, 2-shot kill if you get a headshot in there as well. And it kills extremely fast. One of the best guns in the game. I had to put it on number 2 with the subsonic high power and the close combat rounds. And I use the K8 hollow most of the time. If you want to go for a little bit more long range, you can go with the Ghost hybrid or even the 5x scope, but this is definitely more for a single fire action. Before I'm gonna reveal what I think is the best weapon in Battlefield 2042 right now, I quickly wanted to thank you guys for reaching 1,000 followers on my Twitch channel. The support on Twitch has absolutely been amazing. If you haven't followed the Twitch yet, there is a link in the description, but thank you so much for the recent support. Up next, we have the best gun in the entire game, and it's been the best gun for a while. I'm still expecting another nerf, because this gun actually, funny enough, got nerfed twice now. It's the VHX D3. I tested it quite a bit since Season 7. The visual recoil is definitely worse, but it's one of the fastest killing weapons in the game. Even with the new headshot multiplier, which has nerfed a lot, or nerfed a bit as well, it's still the best gun in the game. VHX definitely still worth using. For the attachments, the Fusion Hollow, the standard issue extended. Then I have the backup ammunition. High power is actually quite good as well, very useful, but it reduces that rate of fire from 850 to 800. Standard issue rounds. I have the BCG light grip. I think this one is kind of a must because it makes the gun have a little bit more longer range, and even at the high rate of fire it kills very fast for longer range. And I have the tactical compensator myself. This can increase the recoil, but it also makes the gun more accurate, so your bullets are actually going where you're shooting. It's definitely worth using a thermal. Thermals are not that good anymore with the visual recoil. They made them quite a bit worse, but on maps like Redacted, which the VHX absolutely shines on, using a thermal is definitely very useful. So those are the top 5 guns in the game. Let me know what your favorite weapon is, and if you agree with the top 5. The order is to be discussed, but I think most of these weapons that I'm putting in here are definitely meta weapons and worth using, and up there with the best weapons in the game right now. So yeah, again, hopefully this video was useful. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.